welcome back after a short break to... I always love when they do that. So, we're down to our final two contestants. It's number 1 and number 2. So, number 2. Guess the difference. The difference between these games, number 2. Oh, they're games? Well, to be honest, games are just for kids, right? So I don't know, to be honest. The lady says games are just for kids. Such a hilarious one. You know what? Why don't you just stand out there? Because you are qualified. So say hi and bye to your family. Hi, my lovely children, and bye. Wait. I'm getting some feedback here. I think she just got disconnected. Anyways, number 1. The question is up to you. Guess the difference.
I don't know, okay? I have no clue.
Well, that's the wrong answer, number 1, because one of them is a physical game and another is a digital game. So, why don't you just step out there and say hi and bye?
What about if you talk about digital and physical games for like 10 or 15 minutes, because I know which one is actually better, so you can help me by giving me life choices.
And that's one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, number 1, because I would never talk about physical and digital games. You know what? I am going to talk about it. So let's start from the beginning. Gaming has had a long history with physical media, but now it's changing. But unlike movies, which has lost its physical media like discs to collector's items, and now everyone watches these on streaming services or quote-unquote digitally, for games, yes, the revolution of digital games is upon us, but not at an alarming rate, happily. And of course, people are being people, so they started debating over, or should I say, arguing over which is better, digital or physical. And I'm here to answer that question. Thanks. You don't have to cheer for me. So hello people, welcome back to another commentary video. And I just realized you're breathing right now. Oh well, you know my channel has a rule. You breathe, you subscribe. Hey, I don't make the rules. You gotta subscribe. Wait, why do you stop breathing? I'll just reiterate that I'm not going to be biased towards one, even though I have a lot more physical games than digital. But I will be truthful and genuine about which I rank higher in different categories, and if you're offended, I don't care, like comment it down I guess. And one last thing, I'll be referring to digital games as digi games mostly, and physical games as CD, disc or DVD, because it's easier for me to say. So if I say any of these terms, rather than thinking what I am on right now, you would know what I'm on about. So without further ado, let's start this video. I need a transition, so what rhymes with convenience and has "con" in it? Yes, it's time to talk about inconvenience. Wait, what? Not that. Convenience is a factor which kind of just resonates with digital games. It's one of the key advantages of digital games, but I want to talk about it because I'm a yapper. Sue me. Don't if you're going to. So starting off, let me make you ponder over an example. Imagine you're a working person who gets tired after every shift you do and just want to play some games. When you reach home, you sit in your sofa and you're all comfy. Then you realize you have to get up to change the disc because your broke ass bought a physical PS5 with a loan, thinking that you would get a promotion and a higher salary. But it's already July and they hired a new guy who already got the promotion. But anyways, so you have to get up and walk to wherever your console is stored, remove the existing disc and find the game box you're looking for. Or maybe the game is misplaced in some another game box. Then you realize that the true boss of your life wasn't your boss who won't take a hint that you were broke and needed a higher salary, but actually, it was finding that game. You search and you find. But that's just your copy of Waifu Impact, and you know what? You're not in the mood for that right now. This boss makes you rage harder and louder than any boss in Elden Ring DLC. The, I got sidetracked, but you can see how tedious that sounds. Recently, I got the 5 digital games, or 3 if you count Arkham Trilogy as one game, and it was so much more fun how easily I could switch the games in a snap. I could rage better if I could switch games faster and not by going to my DVD collection and finding these games. I ain't gonna dwell on this for a while. It's an easy winner here. Digi games get 1 point and physical games comes nowhere close. Man, I love convenient game switching. But now, imagine if I wanted to send the game back. What's the word for that? Games nowadays are getting pretty bad. They be either broken on launch, fixed later, or broken on launch, fixed never. And you know what? With your broke salary, you don't got the time waiting for 56 updates over 2 years and patches for the swimming to not glitch out. Yes, I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk 2077. You'll never convince me to buy your stupid game. So many people like to refund these, for lack of a better term, piece of shit games with something much better: tangible money. After I bought those digital games, I returned one of those games successfully, but then when I tried to refund another game, well, it was unsuccessful. And you might be wondering why, and this is where I draw the line. Oh my god, PlayStation has the worst refund policy till date. First, you have to refund these games within 14 days of purchase. That's fine, right? But then, the worst part is the second rule, which mandates you that you can't download or stream the damn game. That what's the actual use of it? Oh my god, who thinks of these? Steam's rule is to play the game for less than 2 hours, which is better than not playing the damn game according to PlayStation. But still, I can't lie, most devs take advantage of this limit, and I don't think any player can experience a game fully in 2 hours. Xbox has a weird rule that you're not supposed to spend significant time on the game. At least you can play it. Nintendo, after I checked, won't take refunds if you don't like the game. What does that mean? Honestly, are you serious? They just be like, if you don't like it, don't buy it again. Come on. These games, on the other hand, are so easy to refund and return because you own the game and you don't have to comply with the store's demands and policies. You can do anything you want with it, and I mean anything with the game. You can burn it, you can break it, you can exchange it, you can return it into any store. Bro, that is freedom at last. Man, I can't believe how many games I got for the PS3, which I kept exchanging back and forth for more and more games. So, the clear winner is physical games. Transition, boom! Sharing of games is a pretty key memory in every gamer's past, as physical games could be shared between friends, or maybe you didn't have friends to give to, or maybe, no one played games like you did, or suddenly when you get a PS5, everyone's too cool to play games. Anyways, but now it's better as there's no region lock on physical games, making it much easier to share. But the only problem of sharing of discs is that both the people can't play the game at the same time.
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
But that is kind of nullified with the arrival of digital game sharing, which is better because even though both the people can't play the game at the same time, they still own it. Hence, when one person stops playing the particular game, the other person can continue with their gameplay. And the best part about this is that more than 2 people can get the game from the same account. Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo all have digital game sharing, and all are really good in sharp contrast to their refund policies. Epic, on the other hand, we just don't talk about, okay? I'm going to end this with a tie. I was going to, but then I realized there's a really unclose competition between these both, and the winner is pretty obviously ding 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 digital games. Even if game sharing started with disc games, it improved to leaps and bounds with digital games. But what if you were sneaky? What if you were a little bit naughty? And what if you went the black flag route? If you know what I mean. And now let me open my freshly bought game. Wait, why isn't it opening? Oh no, it's
Piration. Ahoy, I'm ready. Why does sound like Freddy Fazbear? Anyways, where was I? Alright, I'm ready. Okay, you know what? Let's be mature, guys. Like, you guys are being really mature. Like, let's lock in, okay? Anyway,
piracy is the act of pirating, or basically getting a filtered or a bootleg copy of a game for free to play. This has had an upsurge in popularity among gamers because this led to many smaller indie developers losing their jobs, as many people would rather pirate games than pay and support them. But you might be thinking, game developers and game publishers don't really care about pirating, as they know we gamers are responsible souls who will pay for the games they provide, right? See, the thing about game publishers is that they want the cake and they want to eat it too.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to...
Money.
Sega, Microsoft, Capcom, and many others have followed to not minimize pirating, but to stop it entirely by adding in the long feared the virus of games, DRM. Digital Rights Management, or for short DRM, is a form of piracy protection, and the most important one out of this is Denevu, which the developers just love to add in all their games. Any online DRM can work on online games that are paid or free. But you might be wondering, if you legitimately bought the game from the respective stores, you're safe from this, right? Wrong. Because if these Denevus added to single player games, basically the game is unplayable during server timeouts and inaccessible if the player has no Wi-Fi. So that's nice, right? Not only does it not work during timeouts, but it also affects load times and performance during games. That's why especially online games take so long with verification and stuff, because it actively does file verification checks to stop any and every form of tampering with the main files. And if that wasn't enough to make you angry, wait for it. It also affects modding in games. On PC it's worse somehow, because this requires the CPU resources, which ends up causing increased load times and game performance dips. On consoles it's always online DRM and games that require internet to play and download. But physical games, however, it's probably obvious enough that this DRM and Denevu don't apply to these games, as mostly all DVD games don't have the internet required download, so the winner is pretty simple to point out. It's the one and only physical games. Hey, but talking about internet, now more than ever, internet has become a big part of games because patch updates, which are the support which developers give for their games that actually might last years and years. Some games actually depend on these constant updates of content, like the most popular example, Fortnite. As such, each new season is not only a different game, but even an expanded version of the original. But then there are these paid games which also focus on these updates like Dying Light, Helldivers, etc. The problem with this is that digital games need internet to download, but DVD games basically gives instructions to the console to download the game, hence it doesn't require internet. And that's a good thing, because even though most places have internet right now, there is at least a few places without it. And with this generation, gaming has to be more and more accessible, which is a good thing, of course, but these aren't that accessible for those areas without Wi-Fi or anything for that matter. And there's another problem too. Physical games now, mostly on Switch, all need internet mandated download that are either codes or like cartridges with 20% of the game data, and others downloadable, like the Arkham trilogy. Man, that was a train wreck. Like, not fair, man. Nate wasn't even on the train for it to wreck. I'll probably call this a tie, but as all digital games require internet, and physical games on the rare cases do too, but most, and I mean 98% of them, are actual discs or cartridges, point goes to physical games. I don't honestly get it, man. Why would you even buy digital games? Come on, why? Like, oh. Games are expensive now. Like, holy shit, have you seen these prices? And that's why sometimes you would like to get it for cheaper than $70, or my bad, should I say $69.99. That's why there are deals. Physical games are priced based on depreciation before, but now every company is following the Nintendo method of not freaking caring enough to change the prices of their games, no matter how old or utterly terrible they are. Come on, God of War Ragnarok is $70 and Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is also $70? What? There is, of course, the existence of pre-owned games. They can have like blank cases, scratches on discs, or broken cases. Digital games, on the other hand, is very well priced based on time, which is weird because it's an intangible item which isn't supposed to be depreciated.
Please go to sleep. Sleep, Nick. Do not resist, Nick. You and I, Nick, we're one. I know you're there, Nick. Please. Inside, I'm watching you. I can see you, Nick. Please sleep. I want to be with you.
Digital games have a lot of deals in every platform. Sometimes these games are like AAA titles for less than $5. I got those 5 games for like $27, and all of them are actually good games. And not to mention, memberships are all online and you get free games over there, free with the quotations. And all those pre-owned games pales in comparison to the number of deals and offers provided for these digital games. Hence, the winner for this really dealy, is that even a word? Well, the really dealy award goes to digital games. But, you know, the developers of these games would want you to buy these games. So, how would they make you do so? Like, how will they make you buy it? Well, I think they add some pre-orders are a curse and a blessing sometimes. I never pre-order games unless I know for certain it's a good game, like Astro Bot. If I had the money to do it,
These pre-orders also give bonuses to the player, even though before it was for the physical releases. Now the bonuses are more so in-game based, like early game unlocks and skins, etc. Let me be more specific. I ain't talking about the collector's edition because, like the title says, it's for collectors, not your average player Joe with your broke ass salary. Even though some games have bonuses for these physical releases like Astrobot, but there aren't enough of them to mention nowadays. Not only that, digital upgrades to different editions of games are only by the digital stores like Miles Morales, Dying Light, etc. So I think I will give this point to digi games as they kind of pre-ordered the win anyway. Hence for a bonus, I'ma give it 1 point with an Astrobot logo. I just love that game so much. I need a transition, so here's a poem which is 100% written by ChatGPT. Digital adventures, pixel perfection. Physical games bring tactile affection, both cherished in a gamer's. I'm gonna finish this category faster than Sonic. Sonic. Wait. Anyways, let's just still finish this fast. Game collection is present with both digi and disc games, but I much prefer physical collections as they are tangible with the box arts and discs. And just imagine you're showing your friend your collection by showing him your digital PS5 game collection. That's just so dead, man. The point goes to physical games with a collection of 5 points, but one of these doesn't fall a victim to. What's the use of your disc collection if the game is scratched, beaten up, bit by your dog, stumped by your dad and broken into a million shards or something like that? By the way, not a true story whatsoever. And it's pretty obvious that digi games are basically untouchable, hence no scratches and no wear and tear. This goes to digital games with the casualty physical games being worn and tore to shards. But what about older games, which are only physical games? Well, I think it's time for some. You probably think this category goes to physical games because older games are only physical, no shit. But it goes more deeper than that. The problem with older DVD games is that they are costly, man. They're really costly. So let's end this category fast. Digi games nowadays are getting more and more older games, either if it's in a membership or not. At least it's there. And it's also reasonably priced. It's not only about the older games, but it's also about the indies. The indie games are much easier to upload on digital stores, and rather than spending costs on physical boxes and shipping bulk expenses, indies got their first start on Xbox and PS stores in 360 era. And there still are games which are only released on digital stores without any disc inside, or they release the digital version first and then the physical after a few months, I guess, like Stray, One Shot, etc. The winner just cannot be physical games, as you should take all the aspects in mind. So the winner is digital games. Sorry, it's just the truth. But there's a major problem with digital games on this front, and that is a term I think most of you are familiar with. So enjoy the most divisive, controversial, and the most talked about aspect of difference between physical and digital games. Finally, we have reached the ultimate, final category of this versus video. Will physical prevail or will it be digital? What a journey it has been. lives saved, fights fought, and most importantly, opinions shattered. In the great year of 2025, we have reached a point of not owning absolutely anything. From movies, shows, and the most menial tasks, and happily, our loveliest game companies have normalized this BS on games as well. Amazing! Yes, you don't own a digital game you purchase. You do, however, own a license in the icon of the game's box art and title. Is that enough? Ownership is a big issue with digital games or any game bought from these online stores. It's basically that you don't own any of the games you buy. It's like renting a movie. You can watch it as many times as you want, but you don't actually own the movie. If you don't believe me, try and find Battlefield Bad Company 2 on Steam. And good luck trying to find it on any digital platforms because it ain't there, mate. And don't even tell me you got it on your library. Because I would be asking you to double check, and even certain games are getting shadow banned from your library, so they're making it harder to find stuff which you purchased. I had this free Silent Hill game, not PD, but that game called Short Message, and bro, they removed it for me and said sorry for it. And the worst offender of this is the membership services, which regularly, not like once or twice, but freaking regularly remove and add games just like that whenever the licenses of using those games gets expired. The problem with these is that some people buy these services for those games which get removed. And they announce the quote-unquote going to be removed games like a week before, and kind of just telling you that you better play it and crunch and finish it. Then what's the point of these services if they aren't for the convenience sake of these people who care enough to buy these? And lo and behold, you don't have it anymore. The reason this is worse for games than any other media is because gaming isn't like watching a movie. You spend time interacting with it and pouring hundreds, if not thousands of hours in them, and you pay 70 USD for them. So yes, God forbid trying to own an item you purchased with your hard-earned money. And now, we have normalized this so much that companies are getting cocky. Ubisoft, what is genuinely wrong with you? You removed crew and cut its support. You tell me I'm not supposed to own my games even though I pay for them. What is wrong with you? Now, on to the final boss, Nintendo. Switch 2 has keycard and normal game cards. Keycards are basically text which ruin the game's box art, but also the game can't be downloaded without internet. I mean, Switch 1 already had this, but it's more visible here. And Xbox, with their recent release of physical titles on PS5 with literal MB stored within, and an instruction to download the rest of the game via internet. What is the point of physical games then? And okay, you know what, do I really need to say anything about physical games? Buying a physical game gives you the ultimate ownership to do whatever you want with it. For digital, games are owned by someone, but for physical, games are owned by you. Yes, you, and only yourself. A quote which this reminds me of: just because it's convenient doesn't mean it's good.
Game preservation is also a hot topic amongst gamers, and I think it's also part of this, so I'm going to include it anyway.
And yeah, there is a lot of discourse around this. I have to say, preservation is dying, but not dead yet. Digital games are the end of preservation, because digital games aren't owned by you. So as time goes on, when the new consoles come without backwards compatibility, then all those games you bought digitally just will not work. Game preservation kind of depends upon backwards compatibility in my opinion. Now, of course, physical games aren't the best at this too, with the cost of older games getting higher and higher, but they still preserve much better than digital games. DVD games help keep those games preserved for a long time because DVDs and discs don't expire and aren't licensed. In my honest opinion, physical games and preservation go hand in hand.
So, the final victor is physical games, and I'm gonna award it 2 points because of ownership and preservation, and just because I can. So, that ends the comparison, and the final tally up is.
Oh, who would have guessed? They both are tied. Come on, this whole video was made in a way without a real winner. Sorry if I baited you into thinking there'd be one true winner. The underlying point of this video is that games are fun. No, I mean I don't care if you buy digital or physical games. Yeah, you don't own your games in digital stores, but it's not like Sony or Nintendo is one day going to wake up and delete God of War and Super Mario from their stores. They know there'll be a world war if they even try. Even if I like physical games more, doesn't mean I won't accept the parts where digital games are better at. The final message to you all is to play games however you like. This video shouldn't decide it for you. Just play games. Alright, I will see you all in my next commentary video. If you love this changed up content, like this video and check out my channel and get bombarded with uncharted content. Watch my Yakuza edit, it's been doing pretty well, and subscribe. So until my next video, I will find the owner of my digital games for a quick word with him/her. Bye.
Congratulations, you made it to the post-credit scene. It's 3 a.m. I'm still editing this video. I'm going to go and sleep. Thanks for watching. If you watched the entire video, thank you. Alright, bye.